Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. I am Jane Gary, known as the sales strategist for the non-salesperson, and today is your sales savvy and success training. Today what I want to talk to you about is gardening. Yes, you heard me, gardening. Well, okay, more specifically, what does gardening have to do with sales and selling? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 3 principles of gardening that really showed up for me very personally over the Memorial Day weekend and how it applies to sales. So I have this adorable little kind of outdoor space, and since travel right now is not happening the way that we're used to, and I'm a big traveler, specifically a big international traveler, I wanted to make my little porch area look as much like Europe as I possibly could, because I love going to Europe, and I don't know that I'm really going to be able to do that this year because of what is going on with the COVID situation. So I was very busy buying cool stuff and creating this whole strategy and plan. And I'm very happy to say it's still a work in progress. I will post pictures when it's ready, but I've got this really adorable little space with beautiful things that make me happy, and flowers and plants. And I was able to go online and do all this sort of cool shopping and researching French gardens in particular, which is my favorite country. And I just had an absolute blast with it. So that's the first part of the story. Now, the second part of the story is I have to tell you, I'm not a manual labor kind of gal. If it requires a lot of just physical getting in there and doing some work, and it's really not my thing. So I've become kind of this gardener doing all this manual labor, which I would not normally do under certain circumstances. But a couple really interesting things came out of it. And as I was planting and repotting and replanting and rearranging and up and down and squatting and sitting and standing and doing all of these things to create my little garden, what I realized when it was all said and done, and I was sitting on my chair and looking at everything, kind of relaxing, and I thought, there are 3 principles in gardening here that are really applicable to sales and selling, specifically specifically generally about your business. So I wanted to look at everything from the bigger concept of your business and then dive down into where it really shows up for you in your selling. So here we go. Number 1, what I discovered when I was putting my little outdoor space together is that most of the really hard work is in the beginning. So the planting and the repotting and the kind of arranging everything, which that part was the really super fun part for me, but the work, the physical work, the manual labor that I was having to do with all of this, the really hard work, most of that, it's in the beginning. Once the plants are planted and things are set up the way that they should be, then after that, it's really more about maintaining it and making sure that everything stays alive and healthy. And this is very much like your business. So if you are in the beginning phases of your business, it's all front loaded, it's all front loading. Everything that really requires an enormous amount of time and attention and effort tends to happen more at the beginning of your business. It's the same way when you are selling, which you have to be doing if you own a business. So in the beginning of any sales cycle, most of the hard work is really in the front part of it. That's where you want to be extra ambitious about doing your reach outs. That's where you really want to make sure that you've got a very clear strategy and a plan to implement that strategy, so that you are contacting people, so that you are reaching out, so that you're creating momentum, you're creating buzz. Whatever it is that you are doing, and there are different ways that you can get visibility so that you're selling, whatever it is that you need to do, it is a lot of work in the beginning. It's a lot of work in the beginning. It will continue to be work, but what you will find is that when you get it going in the beginning, is then it will tend to take on a little bit of life on its own. You do have to maintain it. You do have to make sure that it continues to thrive and grow. But that front part is really where all your energy, all your effort, all your time, you're really going to see that kick up for you. When you do that, what you will then discover later on is referrals start coming in. You'll get people know this person who knows this person who knows this person. Will create a spider web for you. You'll get referrals. You'll start to get known. But in the beginning, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I want you to feel encouraged about this. And then here's your number 1 tip there. make sure that you have a strategy and a plan when it comes to getting yourself out there, making sure people know who you are, and most importantly, that you know how to have a sales conversation that will be effective and that will create a win-win for you and for all of your prospective clients. So hard work tends to be at the front, at the very beginning. After that, you still need to sell, you still need to do revenue generating activities, and it's just a little bit different than it is at the beginning. So plant away, make sure you do all of your appropriate work in the beginning. It will just make then keeping everything alive and growing and pretty, happy, beautiful, whatever you want to call your business later on. Point number 2, it's an ongoing commitment even after the novelty wears off. This one was kind of the biggest aha for me, although I knew it was coming. But when you get really excited about something in the beginning, which I tend to do, then once the novelty wears off, you go, oh, okay, not as exciting, and I've got to keep going with this thing. So this is what I discovered with my little garden. So the novelty of planting and potting and shopping for me, I love shopping, I have to admit it. So I got new gloves, I got new gardening gloves, I got new gardening shoes, and then of course I got all this cool stuff for the garden. And then I did what I had to do. And then it took me all of about 2 weeks before I went, okay, I got to keep doing this. And now the novelty, the fun, really fun element of this, because it was brand new, has worn off. This is very much like your business, and you're definitely going to experience this when you are in the role of a salesperson, which is what you are simultaneously when you're a business owner. So the novelty of, oh, I've got to get clients, the novelty of I need to have a strategy and a plan to get clients, the novelty of, hey, I'm going to have conversations with people who can potentially become clients. All of that will eventually wear off, and it really does become your job, meaning the thing that you have to go and do every day. Now, it can be enormously fun when you really are doing something that you love and you know that you're serving people and you know and believe you're making a difference. Then yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually love getting up every day and tackling my business. I love coming into my office and saying, okay, today's the day I'm going to make a difference in somebody else's life. I've got my strategy. I've got my plan. Let's go. I do love it. And there are days where I would rather stay in bed. There are days where I would rather take a walk. There are days where I would rather kind of do anything but sit in my office and do my job. So long after the novelty wears off, you need to keep going. So your tip for this here is make sure that you always are attached to your bigger vision or the thing that you find the most fun in doing in your business. I'm going to give you a quick example with that. I have a colleague who she gets her buzz off of doing the process. She loves getting in there and making things happen. She thinks in systems and in processes, and she loves the implementation. I don't love the implementation so much. I love the vision of what could happen. I love creating things. I love coming up with new ideas. And in a perfect world, I would just come up with new ideas, create, and then turn them over to somebody else to implement them. Doesn't work like that for real in a business, especially if you are a solopreneur or a smaller business. So although there are things that I can turn over to my team to take care of, there are still things that I need to do, and they're not my favorite things to do, but I have to do them. So long after the novelty has worn off, you still need to get up and take care of your garden, metaphorically speaking. So the tip is find the thing that you most love. If you get your buzz off of implementation and doing the process, then remember that you get to do the process, and what you will have as a result is the ultimate goals that you're trying to reach. If, on the other hand, you really get your buzz off of the vision and the creation of new things, then think in terms of, hey, I get to create, I get to picture or paint a picture for myself, and because of the implementation, that part that I have to do, that's what is going to allow me to get to continue to create. So I hope that makes sense. It's really kind of the difference of, are you big picture, big vision person, and you're going to stay high on that, then stay high on that, stay attached to that, and then remind yourself that doing the process and the implementation is what is going to get you to your vision. If on the flip side, however, you are somebody who's very process oriented and you love doing the process and implementation, then stay there and just know that ultimately what you want and your goal, those will come through. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is, some days it's pure joy and other days not so much. This is exactly what I've been experiencing with my little garden slash outdoor space. Some days I go, hey, how cool. I'm going to go out. I'm going to water the plants and I'm going to check the soil on the plants and I'm gonna hose down the area because it got a little muddy last night because of the rain, or I need to rearrange the rug or whatever's going on. And it just feels like a joy to kind of get out there and do what I need to do. Then other days it's actually, okay, I need to put that on my to-do list because I really don't feel like going and doing all of that right now. Same thing in your business, same thing in your sales or your selling cycle. Some days it is going to feel like an absolute joy, and other days it's just going to be you saying, I'm going to show up and do this today because I'm a professional and this is what I need to do. It's all okay. So embrace both. Embrace the times where it feels like pure joy, and embrace the times where you can be really proud of yourself that you're professional, you're going to show up, you're going to do what needs to be done because that's the job that you have. It's the career that you've created for yourself. Here's your tip around that. Schedule your energy. And what I mean by that specifically is create your schedule so that you're doing the things that you like to do at times of the day where you tend to have the most energy, bringing you joy, and schedule things that are not your favorite things to do during times where maybe you don't have as much energy, because it's going to be easier to find joy there. Let me give you an example on this for me personally. I'm really not a morning person, or as I like to jokingly say, I am a morning person. I'm a morning person at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m., sometimes at 3 a.m. So I'm just naturally very much a night owl. I don't like having conversations in the morning till about 10 o'clock. Anything before 10 a.m. for me, it doesn't feel fun. I'm definitely not my best self. It's just something I don't like doing. So in the morning for me, what I like to do for those first few hours before 10 a.m. is the administrative work of my business. It's quiet time, creation time. I tend to write content in the morning. I tend to look at my strategy, rewire my strategy, rearrange my strategy, look at what I need to implement. So I do quiet activities in the morning until 10 o'clock because I naturally have the most energy for those kinds of activities. And what I really don't have any energy for is having conversations at that point. Once 10 o'clock hits, it's a little bit easier. Now, my sweet spot for talking to people is after lunch. So from about 1 p.m. up until about 6 p.m., I'm good to go. I'm raring to go. I'm dying to talk to people. I love interacting with people. I love hearing their stories and what's going on with them and hearing what their problems are and what their challenges are, because that gives me a better idea of them, what they need to get to a solution. So for me in the afternoon really is when I love having conversations. So I encourage you to schedule your energy and be mindful of your energy, and more specifically, schedule activities where you're finding your natural energy to be for those activities. So this point under having your business feel very joyful at times and other times not so much, it's going to be a lot easier to find joy and embrace the joy if you've got that energy scheduled appropriately. So that is it. That's all I've got for you today. I'm trying to keep these short, sweet, and simple so you can hear them and get on with your day, get on with your business, and get on with your life. That is what I want for you. So let me do a quick recap. Number one, most of the hard work is at the beginning. If you plant and water and nourish appropriately, then it is going to be easier to make sure that things maintain, they stay alive, that they continue to grow. Number two, it's going to take ongoing attention and commitment. Your business, your sales are going to take ongoing commitment and attention even after the novelty wears off. So make sure you are attached to what you ultimately want to accomplish, and make sure that you really find your attachment in the thing that you love most to do. If you're process driven, really dive into that process and know it's going to get you to your big picture, your big vision. If you're a visionary and you're attached to vision and big picture creation, attached to that, and just know that you're going to need to do the process part of it to make your vision come to fruition. And then finally, some days are going to feel joyful and other days not so much. So make sure that you schedule your energy appropriately so that you can leverage getting the most joy that you possibly can. Ultimately, having your own business is a really beautiful thing. And just like sitting in that chair and kicking back and looking out and seeing the beautiful flowers and the greenery and all those things that I had planted and put into place that gave me joy just looking at them, it was really beautiful to look at. And it gave me such a sense of happiness and fulfillment inside, which is exactly how I feel about my business. But make sure that you understand the ebbs and flows of your business. Make sure that you understand the cycle of selling, and then make sure that you give yourself the time and the space to really, truly create an overall strategy, both for your business, your sales, and your selling, and of course, for you. You are a thing of beauty. Your business is a thing of beauty. Go get out there, do what you do best, and what nobody else can do, because the world needs you. All right. I'd love to hear what you thought of that, if you had one big takeaway or which one of those points most spoke to you. So I'd love it if you would post below and let me know what you got out of it. And of course, if you would like to chat or explore whether working together is something that would be a good fit for you or not, you can email me directly, jane@showstoppingsales.com. That's jane@showstoppingsales.com. Until next time, stay well, stay healthy, and as always, to your selling success. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.